Hello and welcome to Deck Doctors. We're here at Pat's Games in Austin, Texas. Aryeh, what's on the show tonight?
Well, we've got an Is It deck that features Erratic Cyclops and some other pretty cool cards like Thousand Year Storm.
Thousand Year Storm, sounds like fun. Let's get to it.
Thanks for watching the video. Now, if you want to make sure you don't miss out on any of the other awesome Magic the Gathering content that we create, then make sure you click subscribe so you'll be updated whenever we release a new video.
Tonight's letter is from Ben in Colorado. Ben writes, Dear Deck Doctors, my friends and I like to play budget decks against each other to avoid getting into an arms race. We currently have a rule that no deck can be over $100. The current deck I'm loving is built around Erratic Cyclops, a 5-cent rare with some goofy win conditions. My deck plays cards like Gutter Snipe and Piston Fist Cyclops to get additional mileage out of the spells I'm casting, and cards like Apex of Power and Thousand Year Storm to close out the game. I'm wondering how I can make my deck more consistent without removing the goofy charm. Should I cut the top end? Thanks, Ben. Alright, Aryeh, we've got Ben's deck here. What are your initial thoughts?
It's kind of a cool deck. It's a little bit similar in standard with the Arclight Phoenix deck, where it's an Is It spells based thing. We're not playing the Phoenixes because it would take us over the $100 limit that we have. So we've kind of slotted in Erratic Cyclops in their place.
Okay. What do you think needs to come out here? Or what are your prime contenders for space to make?
I think Smelt Ward Minotaur is definitely the first card that I would probably be cutting here. The ability it has, it says it can't block, and the rest of our deck's like a bunch of 1/4 walls and 2/2s and stuff. So I really don't think we're attacking most of the time. I think we're mostly dealing our direct damage when we play spells. And then once in a while we can attack with the Cyclops, but it has trample, so we don't really need the Minotaur. So I think that would be one I'm looking to cut. Additionally, I think that even though it's a cool card and I do like it, I think Piston Fist Cyclops, the secondary Cyclops, is just a weaker Cyclops. Yeah.
Well, you can only have 4 of the good Cyclops.
Yeah, it's also a card that isn't as good, I think, just because it has 3 toughness. There's lightning strikes and all kinds of cards that deal with it. And it doesn't particularly block well for a 3-drop either as a 4/3.
Okay, and what was the core that we're going to keep and build around here? So we're definitely keeping the Erratic Cyclops.
Yeah, we're definitely keeping the 4 Erratic Cyclops. I think kind of the backup to Erratic Cyclops is Murmuring Mystic, which is a 1/5 that makes a 1/1 flyer every time you play a spell.
Oh, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, cards look really good. I think this list was not playing the full 4, so I'd definitely like to go up to the full 4 of that. Nice. Because that's kind of, now you have 8 of your payoff card instead of having maybe 4 or 6. And that way, when we do go off and draw our spells, we always have a payoff for doing that.
What else does this deck need, do you think?
Well, the biggest thing I see that we're missing when I look at the list is we don't really have very many ways to draw cards. And in this kind of deck, you want to keep drawing cards so you can kind of keep going off with things.
Yeah, you need to keep triggering your things right. You're just going to run out of steam.
So I think Radical Idea, that's a real easy one. I would probably play 4, cutting some of these less impactful creatures. And I actually think also Opt. Opt is a card that isn't in the list that I think should be there. You'd probably kind of take some of these more expensive spells like Inescapable Blaze and kind of slot in Opt instead. Just going to give us a little more consistency. And again, when we have a card like Murmuring Mystic in play, Opt is going to be amazing. Is Opt amazing with the Cyclops, giving it only +1? No, but Opt also, it just helps you find the other pieces. So if we don't have the Cyclops, we get that, and if we do have the Cyclops, we can find our Banefires and stuff like that.
I can see that.
Another thing we definitely, I think, want to do is we are only playing 2 electrostatic fields. I'd like to go up to the full 4. Those are ping when you play a spell. I think once we have added the Ops and the Radical Ideas, that those cards are going to be capable of dealing a ton of damage. So that is really another one we can improve. And then outside of that, I kind of like this list. I think it's really cool. I've seen similar lists floating around on Magic Arena, and they're definitely fun and definitely budget. So the rest of the deck, I think, is actually pretty strong. Yeah, I like it. This would be a lot of fun to play for sure.
Superb. What about the Thousand Year Storm? Do we have enough? Or is one more than enough?
I think on the list we originally got that has a lot of kind of creatures in it, I think maybe not. But I really think that like once you add ops and radical ideas in, you can get off a pretty good 1,000-Year Storm turn. Ideally, you end that turn with like a Banefire for some amount, and then just copy Banefire a bunch. But yeah, I think 1,000-Year Storm is a cool card. I like seeing it in the list. I think it's fun to play with, and if we're in kind of a budget casual environment, I would always play one in my deck. I think the games where you
when
draw
you get to do it, yeah, it's so good.
Exactly, it's a good story. Every time you win or lose with that card, it's going to be a huge story. So.
Okay, I think we can go up a slot for that.
Yeah, I think the second one might be a little much, but the first one I think is fun.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Deck Doctors. Aryeh, thank you once again.
Yep.
And if you have enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel down below. We put out content like this every week, plus gameplay videos and other Magic and hobby-related content I am sure you are going to love. And if you want your deck list analysed on Deck Doctors, then email us at deckdoctors@nightsatthegametable.com and you'll be seeing your deck on Deck Doctors very soon. Thanks again, and we'll catch you next time on Nights at the Game Table.